12:43 a.m. Kampala, Uganda, East African time, and today is the 1st of October, Friday, 1st October 2021, and I'm taking advantage of the fact that it's midnight and I live, or actually, I'm staying next to the roadside. So, of course, as you're trying to record yourself, or as you're trying to record yourself singing, there's a motorcycle in the background, kind of makes you want to walk up the hill, at the top of the hill, to where the god or the gods live, or the godly live, and just, record yourself. But that's during daytime, and too many nuisances because honestly, my physique and the way I walk, the way I behave, my character is not supposed to be in Makinje na Janankombi. So at the end of the day, it's more like that's not the topic of conversation today. The topic of conversation today is, how can you be so affected by black or dark skin that you do not have an entire YouTube dedicated to talking about, let's say, the kings and queens of the Black Brides movement or the black skin world. And at the end of the day, somebody could say, that's stupid, that's crazy, no? People follow you from the get-go, from when you are a goober or when you're young, and they know the truth that you were darkened, and they have to give a shit about you, or they have to care about you because first and foremost, it's something they're promised, and then secondly, like maybe their own or one of their own partook in, affecting you so tremendously. So at the end of the day, I'm talking like this, and I'm happier that, I don't have to shout like I did in my other videos. Whereby today I'm going to talk again about the Oprah Winfrey Network and Oprah Winfrey herself. And you find that there's not so much of negativity there. I mean, I watched the Oprah Winfrey Network and everything I watched kind of became my reality, meaning that the Oprah Winfrey Network has walked and walked and walked silently with me, and they could let me walk from Chigali to Kavale Katuna, and what else? Is there a future of me sleeping in a coffin and they are walking with me through that journey? And who are they doing it for? Well, the resemblances that you get to meet as an Emma Uphill, are clustered into one particular, let's say, name. And then you find that it's more like as though you're talking about, criminal groupings by use of face and resemblances, because at the end of the day you don't really know the names of these people, or they're not really out there on Google, but they are famous, they are popular, they're known, they run things, they are in Europe, they are in London, United Kingdom, Britain, they are in New York, they are maybe in Los Angeles, I don't know. They are, of course, Bangkok, Thailand, meaning thank goodness I traveled to Bangkok, Thailand. They are in Amsterdam, they're in Amsterdam, Schiphol. At the end of the day, I'm talking about the Judge Jim Cryer world. So awakened you thinking Judge Jim Cryer, and then he has a son, or he has sons that have been in the Maze Runner movie, and then you having an encounter with somebody of the Maze Runner movie, and you're like, what the dude? So end of the day, it as well spirals you into a situation where you find yourself trying to understand how is it possible I'm everything but I'm nothing at the same time. Kind of like when I met the judge Jim Cryer Wild in 2015, riddle me, and I couldn't riddle him. And actually, I did tell him, you know what, I don't have conversation like that. So I guess this is wrong, and I'm not supposed to be on a date with a man this old. So as I was walking away, I was barred from walking away. But simply put, at the cassava stall just here in Kampala, Uganda, miles away from Copenhagen, Denmark, and that is Vesterbrogel. And Vesterbrogel is just like Stone Town, meaning maybe Vampire Town or something. I haven't watched much of series. Then you find that as I'm trying to buy series in 2015, and they were placed into Rollover Centrum. There's Rollover Centrum, there's Fields Shopping Mall, there is Fisketovel, and all those words, of course, have meanings. Fisketovel, maybe the fish is toppled, and Rollowa maybe would be roll over. And there's so many towns in Denmark that you'd find have meanings in English, kind of like the English settled there. It's a small country just like Rwanda, and there's a bigger country like Sweden to Denmark, and then also Norway, and then in Uganda you could say Uganda is bigger, Kenya is bigger, Tanzania is bigger, and Uganda could be the Germany, and then Tanzania is the Sweden or Norway, and then Kenya is maybe some other, I don't know, country, and then Rwanda is such a small country, Burundi is such a small country. Then somebody says things like Burundi, but you're thinking maybe it means Burundi. And you're like, you know what? Emma could be so many things. Emma could be Burundi. Emma could be North Sudan. Emma could be so many things. At the end of the day, there's Zari, the boss lady, that maybe sent down that elevator about herself. She's like 4 different nationalities, and she's light skinned, looks like a goddess. Like, you don't really mess with that. So another day, the topic is, the grim crier situation. Oprah Winfrey married a grim crier situation. Oprah Winfrey has a life partner. Oh, I'm going to share my life partner. I'm going to share my life partner. And as the TV is on, you get called in. Emma, come and see. And then, of course, that's people like the housemates of Daniel Arap Moy. Google July 2021, and him being viewed as a giant by the people that Emma is calling his relatives, yet actually 2 decades apart or 1 decade apart, no matter how stinky the faction, it means null and void, there's no longer any relation. So who are those that will be coming in to act as relatives? These are the housemates of Okech David Ogwiri, and at the end of the day, I don't have to walk to Okech David Ogwiri's place. Maybe they have a lot to do with Milton Obote or Dr. Apollo Milton Obote appropriation. And I have Olupot Igalin's phone number in my phone, so I don't have to walk to Okech David Ogwiri's place. Secondly, his place is surrounded by so much of, let's say, Chigali Guest House, and Okech David could be now the Goblin from Dublin 3 by Lucky Hussel and El Giganten and Guinness World Records on Copenhagen Shopping Street. Simply put, there's too much, but clarity. I'm happy that I can talk low like this or on a low tone like this, and it's 12:51 a.m. right now. Cars and motorcycles on the roadside. It's not easy doing this. Mosquitoes bite your legs a bit, meaning I hate Africa because of mosquitoes. And by the way, there's so much about mosquitoes as far as dark skin is concerned. Then at the end of the day, you're starved, you're eating cheap, or you easily just made to eat cheap, and then you find all the way from Copenhagen and all the way from Stockholm or Gothenburg or Lund or Malmo, they're all here in Uganda. Your face shape is changing, your head shape is changing, meaning that I can trace Oprah Winfrey has been, or the Oprah Winfrey network has been along with me, like the way some Africans run as they're bypassing you on a network. I think that was Olive Katatumba, or a resemblance of Olive Katatumba, meaning the Danish embassy Kampala. And that is flashback to Intinda Kalinavidi, house number 5. And Intinda Kalinavidi has been around Emma like so much in a very negative way. Intinda is Nakawa division, and Nakawa division is the greater Kampala, meaning everything Kampala is Nakawa division. And maps need to put that into the real Google picture, but Google as well is really something. So hello Sijik, thank you for kind of trying to be that different situation, though you have a crescent, and I'm not really a fan, or I'm not really, actually I'm proud to be somebody that doesn't look Christian, like as though I look like as though I surpassed being Christian. I look like as though I surpassed being Church of Satan, meaning whatever it is I come from as relatives are people that are not religious, and that is a good thing. Because at the end of the day, I'm commenting on platforms on Facebook. There's a series called The Chosen, and I'm like, what the Bible really affects. So when someone like me is in a prison system like I am right now, where I have to complete 3 years, and I'm 3 months away from being able to say, yay, 3 years are done, and only thing I needed when I came back to Africa was passport, meaning the refugee system in Denmark stole that from me. And then there's the Taik Tukusun Malmo, Sweet and Wild, but he could be Egyptian, he could be North Sudan, he could be the father of the all Mose Radio and Weasel situation. They could be the fathers of the Davido music situation, meaning Nigeria music, East African music, or West African music. At the end of the day, Oprah Winfrey Wild has really been along with me in a way that they've been working with me, yet I'm over here and I'm thinking to myself, how is it possible she could be so clean? Kind of like when I thought to myself, how is it possible Okello Garrison could be so clean? Then you find that Okello Garrison actually did make you have an encounter with Daniel Arap Moi once, and the men or one of the males that you will, or actually all the men that you will get to see on Google 2021. And then that was so many years ahead, and finally it's 2021 and I saw Daniel Arap Moi as a giant. First thing that came to my mind is, you know what, this is how passports end up being killed, or this is how people kill passports. And the beauty is, before I saw that, I'd already seen so many things that I could say in relation to Okello Garrison. Hinted that, you know, there's Paris, France, and then it goes all the way back to Denmark, meaning I was able to get into a bicycle carriage, and there was Kampala, Uganda in Paris, France as I was doing that. But as I sleep, so I didn't think into much. Awaken, I'm like, oh, actually they are there. And then they come back all the way to ShopRite Lugogo. You can't shop much from ShopRite Lugogo lest you get starved because the banking system is not functioning. It's money from hand to another, and then finally to you. So you ask yourself, how is it possible the queen of daytime talk show, Oprah Winfrey, that later on got replaced by Wendy Williams, and again there's a lot of Wendy Williams as well, but Oprah Winfrey has been working with you, then you find what? 2021, you realize as well Wendy Williams has had a few situations work around that actually hint on something that you would get to know Wendy Williams in a way without actually getting to really know Wendy Williams. Who designs these things, who orchestrates these things? You know what's interesting? You find some of these mails in the bank. Like in 2019, as I was trying to fight for a Visa card, not because I wanted to, but because as well, anybody like me would actually end up being would end up benefiting by getting themselves a Visa card. Because how can you be so constellated, 2.5 American presidencies, and maybe even more? I don't know. Maybe the relatives or people related to me maybe know even more. End of the day, it's more like Oprah Winfrey, you married a grim crier, and all I needed was a passport. There's roads, there's hotels, and I'm just saying, Oprah Winfrey, I need my passport. He's been here, they've been here, I've been stabbed, I've been through it all. Well behaved, I don't think you care about that.